What's up? How's it going? Alright, let me take a small breather. What's up? How's it going? If you're returning, what's up? How's it going? It's very good to see you again. I am back in the chair as per usual. Well, now it's usual because I just got back to doing this thing. So, recently I just got back from Mexico this past week. So technically when I'm filming this one and the last one, there's a week apart. Or no, they're 2 weeks apart, right? Yes. Sorry. I'm putting something on my notes real quick. I probably should have done it earlier. But now I have it. Anyway, yeah. I just went on a week-long trip to Cozumel with my family. That was fun. Yeah. It was just mainly hanging out, fun in the sun. I mean, realistically, when you live in a beach city like I do, going to a nicer beach city is nice. So that was fun. I mainly snorkeled over there. I like snorkeling, so I mainly just snorkeled while I was over there. I got real invested in doing it, so it was a good old fashioned time. I saw a whole bunch of eels. So I saw about 2 eels, and eels look weird, dog. Like, they look fucking weird. They're like one of, I mean, if you've seen an eel, if you haven't seen an eel, it's like those big ass things from Mario when he's like in the swim levels, and they got like sideways eyes and they're like, ah. It was like that. But we saw a couple. I saw some sea turtles, which was cool. I didn't take my phone into the water, so I'm gonna put up portraits of what I think they look like right here. So, yeah. So that was cool. We saw some sea turtles. I saw a school of shark. I don't know which type of shark, but it was a school of them because there was like 4. I think that's enough for a school, I guess. Yeah. And then I saw a starfish, like a true starfish. He was just chilling there. I saw a bunch of fish, obviously, because I was in the fucking water, so I don't know why I said fish, but yeah, there was a lot. It was cool because most of it was like the back of the hotel that we were staying at. Like, I went and took like a snorkel tour, and that was like where you're doing it. You're like going out in the water and going to a reef. That's where I saw like the school of shark, and I saw the sea turtles, because those ones are like in the big reef and you kind of see them floating around. I saw a shit ton of jellyfish. We stopped twice, and when we stopped at the second one, there was like a school of jellyfish, which was funny because on the first stop there was like a few jellyfish and I got stung on the first stop, so that was fun. I didn't hate the ocean because of that, surprisingly. But yeah, it was cool. What else? When we were taking the tour, at least, I saw the sharks. I saw the sea turtle. We saw some flounder. It's like the flat fish that asks where my pickles are in SpongeBob. We saw a bunch of stingray, which was cool. Because, like, I live, like, in the Gulf of Mexico, like, by the Gulf, that circle part. where Texas is. So the stingray you see are like the big fat gray ones that you can see at like SeaWorld. We see those all the time. The ones we saw were like little bitty ones. Probably, I don't even know what the size would be. About the size of like an average Frisbee. And then they had the tail. But they were spotted. They had like tiger spots on them and stuff, which was pretty sick. Because it's not really something you see a lot. So, yeah, it was cool. The jellyfish sucked. There were some others, but I'm just trying to think right now. Let's see. We saw a bunch of like a squid, or I think they're called something else, like a mudfish or something, but they look like a squid. We saw those. Man, what else? There's a lot. We saw a bunch of like hermit crabs. That was the one I was trying to think of. We like right where the hotel beach was, we saw a ton of hermit crabs. And like personally, I went down and dove and got like a shell, and it was a very beautiful shell. But when I grabbed it, I was like holding onto it, right? And I was like swimming. I was swimming around for like a solid 10-15 minutes after I grabbed it. And I had it in my hand because I didn't want to like take it out of the water and like, I don't know, get like fucking arrested or something. Because I don't know, maybe you could get arrested. So I was swimming with it in my hand, and I turned it to where like the head of the shell, like the opening of it, like is towards the palm of my hand. So when I turned it, I was like swimming with it like this. I felt something like tickle it, and I was like, and I like freaked out, and I drop it, and it's going like, it's falling down. Because the hotel water, that one was about like 10 feet. So not too deep, but pretty deep. So I dropped it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it like turns over by itself, and I like lift it up again. And this time I'm just holding it vertically by like the top of the shell. And then right where the spiral comes out, a little hermit crab was like dangling off. And I was like, oh shit. And he was like, kind of like a Larry the Lobster type color. Like a very cherry red with like brown hue. It was really, really cool. And I did find more shells like that where they were kind of like big spiral ones, and they looked real pretty, but they also had hermit crabs, so I didn't like, you know, what is it called? Not execute. Well, execute. I didn't execute them. I didn't evacuate them from their home. I didn't kick them out of their home. So, sorry if it moved. My dog was hitting the table with her tail. But, nice guy. But yeah. So, that was really cool. The wildlife is crazy in the ocean. And, I don't know how many of y'all like actually been swimming in the ocean, but dude, that part where we were, it was hella strong current. Cause right where we were too, like along the shore at least where the hotels were, there was a bunch of like big ass rocks, which is basically like making up the homemade reef, I guess, or something. And it was like just rocks all over, and it kind of got shallow as you like went closer to the shore. And then when you got out, it was kind of more just empty dirt. And then if you went a little further out, there was like seaweed. But yeah, when you're out there, like, so where we were, our hotel had two piers. No, it had one pier, I mean, and it had two sides. So on the one side where the beach fed into, that's where like the main like reef and stuff were, where you gotta walk around. It kind of felt like a pool. And then the other side, it was just the rest of like the reef. But if you did go like further out, the current would like take you out. Dog, that current is rough. And like, I'm used to swimming in currents too, just because I like swim in the ocean a lot here growing up. But going there, and that's because I have flippers too, that shit was hard as fuck. I get why dolphins have abs, because like that shit is wild, dog. Like I was like dolphin swimming, I was like using my hands. It kind of sucked too because I had like a shell in my hand at the time. And I was just like doggy paddling and like like trying to get there. And then like you finally hit the like the softer part when you get closer in shore. And me and my sister, we were actually trying to like swim back to where the pier was, because we were like, this was a pier, like we were all the way out here and we were like swimming in like along the shoreline. So it was pretty hard. Like I was really surprised because I was like, dude, this is insane. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Had a really good breakfast. Also had really good food. If you go to Cozumel, don't go eat at the tourist spots. Go learn the little bit of Spanish it takes to order food, and go order food like in the city, because that shit is gas. It's so good. Like I had pastor, which is pork. I had it like 4 or 5 times while we were there, and I was not disappointed every single time. Like I had a panqueton, which basically meant it was the pastor with cheese, and it was on a French baguette, and it was like seeded and it was like oiled up, kind of like that Diddy oil. It was so good, so good. And also I had street tacos, of course, can never go wrong. I had a burger place there. I wish I remember the name. I'm gonna look it up so y'all can see, but it was really, really good. And it was kind of like a 50 style diner burger, but dude, the burgers tasted amazing. And then they also had a fried chicken place, and that shit was even more amazing. My sister was craving just like American food while we were there, so like we kind of went to try a few like American food spots, but it was like the Cozumel like people's like food, and it was so good. Like the seafood was really good. I had a lot of like gorditas, as they say, which is like just meat on like a bread type with cheese. That's my shit. Like I love sandwiches. I can eat sandwiches any day of the week. So it was really, really good. So I miss the food already. Like I wish I could have it right now for dinner, but sadly I cannot. The world doesn't want me to. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely not used to vacationing. I know I haven't been uploading on YouTube, but that's more just because of life. But I am not used to doing nothing for a week straight. Like, oh, I'll show you what I did. So I set a goal to where I was supposed to complete 1 game on the entire trip, and I chose this game because I love this game. I love Metal Gear Solid 3, and I had my 3DS. That's the only system I took. I took 5 games. I took this, I took Monster Hunter 4, I took Mario Party, Mario Kart, and I took Power Pros Baseball. I took 5 games, and I made it a goal to beat this game. I played it mainly in 3D, but the battery kept dying super fast, and I wanted to not, charge it the whole time I was there. So I kind of just like after I think the fear, I just turned on the 3D for the cutscenes, because I've played the game. Like, you're gonna play just so you can watch the game in 3D. Frames dropped a lot when there was like a rain part, or if there was water in general, the frames dropped a lot, but it was quite the experience. Oh shit. Oh fuck. There we go. I definitely recommend playing it on a 3DS. I say if you do get it and you do play it on the 3DS, calibrate your thumbstick Pro so that when you play the 3DS you have the tiny nub. Calibrate it to where the sensitivity is to your liking, because that shit with the nub at least is rough. I say if you want to play, ideally play it on a 3DS XL and just play with the Circle Pad Pro, because one, it feels like a controller, so you have 2 full range thumbsticks instead of one that like is touch sensitive, because that shit was dog. And that's because the most times I died was when I was fighting the Shagohod crossing the bridge. That one, trying to snipe it, it's game over with that nub. The rest of the game, low key, you could just play normally. It was honestly kind of fire. It was perfect. It's such a good way to play it, like, to go. Because I get the Vita, and it's stronger, and like it's got the touch things here and there. But the 3DS version, like, you have your map on the bottom screen. You have like your items all within like thumb range, which I know you kind of get that with the HD collection on the Vita. But with this one, you get crouch walking. Like, that's unheard of. Like, you can only do that in the new one on Delta. So that shit was fire. I got most of the enemies' camos, except I got the sniper rifle and didn't get the camo, and I didn't get the Sorrows camo. But other than that, 16 hours and it was done. But that's also because I, like, you know, watched the cutscenes. I was taking my time. I was enjoying it. I got a Jaguar ranking, funny enough. I'll put up my stats here. But I had freaking 4 kills. 4 kills. I don't know how I had 4 kills, but I had 4 kills. I went for a no kill run, and that's because I went and got like every weapon. I just did a no kill run, and I had 4 kills. Don't know how the hell that happened. And that's because I did most of the tricks for all the enemies. But whatever. They didn't want to give me the high ranking with no kills, but only 40 alerts though, which isn't bad. But it was so much fun. Highly recommend it on the 3DS. I say if you're gonna take it to go out of the Master Collection, the HD Collection, and this version, so like your Switch, your Vita, and your 3DS, I recommend this one probably the most. Because one, you're only gonna be able to play it in 3D through this version, which if you're watching the cutscenes, it's so much fun. And the 3DS is weird because I have a new 3DS XL, and it's weird because if you watch like the cutscenes in 3D, it runs better than if you watch them in 2D. So that's fun. It was just me and like my headphones like playing it. It was a blast. And I got the banana camo because you can shoot all the Yoshis, and I got the banana camo. I don't know if it's from that, but I got it. I think there is a Yoshi camo, but I don't know how. I did make my own camo, which I don't know how to start a New Game Plus on that, by the way. So I haven't touched it since I got back, which I'm kind of going to keep it that way probably until I want to play it again. But yeah, that is actually part of another video I want to work on. So I won't give any details, but that is what it is. Got the perfect manual. But yeah, if it comes out, then you'll know. I'm kind of wanting to do it as like this type of review of the game rather than like am I out of frame? I'd rather have it as like this type of like thing with the game as opposed to like having it as like a video essay, because I may have got my degree in writing, but I'm not gonna, it's not that I'm not gonna, I kind of don't want to do it like that. Like a video essay, I kind of want to have it more natural, because I want it to be like if I'm recommending a homie a game, and not like I'm doing a lecture on the game, if that makes sense. I'm not that type of person. I like teaching people stuff, but I'm not gonna do it in like a "you ready, kids" type. So, and you know, it's one thing I've been dealing with though, right? Because I know, especially now too, it's hard for people to have like that self-worth, right? Like, I don't know where I'm going with this. I should have chose a better transition. Let me scratch that. Family trip was fun. Vacation, blah. Beat the game. Yeah, highly recommend it. And then, okay. You know, this I kind of want to get into my next talking point, which is basically about self-worth. I didn't really have a good transition to this. I can put the blooper of me trying to transition this, but yeah, man, like recently I've been having a lot of self-worth doubt. You know, I didn't really have like a whole bunch of self-confidence just in general, and you know, I don't know what it is or how it comes about. It could just be like the society like we live in, right? Because I'm not the only one that kind of lives with it, but it is one of those things that you like notice that happens a lot. And personally, I try to you know, motivate myself to do stuff. That's why I like being out. I don't like being home, especially on like a day off. I kind of hate being home. I don't like staying indoors. Well, I love video games, don't get me wrong, but personally I want to feel like I'm earning to play them, if that makes sense. So like when I took Metal Gear Solid 3D on the trip, I kind of wanted it to be like, I bought this game with the money I worked for. I'm going on a vacation that personally I felt like I didn't earn, but I went anyway, just because it was like a family thing, and I wanted it to have my own little memory with the trip, because it'll show that like, man, I am able to enjoy my own things in an environment I'm not too familiar with. Does that make sense? And like, I feel like anytime it comes to I'm doing something like something I feel like I don't deserve, there's always that thought in the back of my mind. It's like, on top of like you don't deserve it, it's like, why are you privileged enough to have this? You know, like self-worth has always been something that I've probably battled with the most, and it's interesting, right? Because everybody has their own like different type of like battles, right? They have like an ego battle, they'll have a self-worth, depression, like something about this engine that's up here is what is the most powerful, yet the most lovable and the most damaging thing all at once. Like your brain, from what I've noticed, I'm not a doctor, but from what I've noticed, like this brain can help you do so much. You can learn so much. But when it comes to actually putting, you know, yourself in that position of like no, you know, you can enjoy this. It has that like that scratch. Like if you're listening to a song and it's going real nice, and you're like, ah, this is nice, and then you just hear the record scratch. It's kind of like that. And like, I don't know, personally for me, I don't know how it came about too much. It could just be like growing up, going to school, having like your own like mental battle with like what's right, what's wrong. You see other, like personally I saw other people that weren't as fortunate as I was, and it's like, why do I get all this? Why? And it's not even much. It's like when I was taking the trip to Mexico, or just any trip in general, like I go, I'm like driving like my car to go, and I'm like on the road trip, and I'm like, I'm with my partner, and I'm like, why am I so lucky to have this? Why am I so lucky to make this memory right now? And it's like, it's such a fleeting thought that comes in, but it's funny because it's like, it's such a fleeting thought that like shifts your personality for a while. Like I've done a lot of work on myself to where it's like, if I think of it, it's more like a dear God, thank you. Not like God, for those people who aren't religious, but like personally, it's like, thank God I get to do this. But there's always that thought in the back of my mind, like it's like, why do I get to do this? And like, that's with everything I do. Like even now where I have my day job and I go do stand-up pretty much almost every day after my job, it's like, wow, I get to go do this and nobody laughs. I should probably stop clicking that, but yeah, man, like it's weird. It's like nobody's telling me to like go do all this. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's like, why do you get to do this, or why do you this, that, whatever. It's like, no, I say it to myself. And it's like, I'm always like my biggest critic, no matter what it is. Like I could be playing Mario Kart and it's like, you little pussy, you didn't fucking beat Birdo in 150cc. Like, and I get angry at Mario Kart. So imagine what you can think of about me talking to myself about fucking Mario Kart. But it's interesting, man, because it's like, you don't realize how often you do it until somebody points it out, at least, or you start noticing it in people. Like most of the time, if I'm talking to somebody, I'll say like something, and then they'll be like, "Oh, it's okay. You always say that." Or if it's not that, you'll say something that you don't know you usually say, and then you hear one of your friends say it, and they're like, "Well, you do that." And I know they're playing, but it's like, whoa, it's like you're cruising and boom, just a wall out of nowhere. And it's just one of those things, man, where it's like, you don't realize how rough you are on yourself, man. Like, I know I am my biggest critic, and I know it's my biggest weakness, because I'm always, no matter what I do, if I'm passionate about it, I'm gonna give 110%. And if I'm working hard and I'm actually enjoying myself working hard, and then you have somebody or something come up to where it feels like you're not enough, it's like, why am I not enough? It's only when somebody else says it that you're like, Why am I not enough? And then you go home and you feel like you're not enough. And like, that can be what, like at work or at home, or like you're riding a bike or you're skating. Like, it's interesting how just that comes up, right? Like, I know anytime I'm doing work or if I'm writing, I can be like enjoying my job, right? I can be going to town on it, having fun. And then that like thought lingers where it's like, oh, that's not funny. Oh, why are you doing this? Nobody's gonna care. It's like, I'm basically sabotaging my good mood every time that happens. And I don't want to really do that, man. And I've done stuff to like help with it. Like, I've written down, I've talked to myself about like why my brain is like this. And I feel like it's always good to have a conversation with yourself, right? Like, if you're ever in a slump, one thing that I usually do is I sit down and I have like either my favorite drink or my favorite food, and I would talk to myself. And you don't have to do it in like a mirror or something. Have that weirdo looking back at you, all right? But you could just sit there or have like an empty chair. And one thing I learned, I forgot what movie it was from or where I saw it, but it was basically somebody talking about pretend you're sitting down, right? And there's an empty chair in front of you. And that empty chair is your younger self, right? And I've gotten to the point, I forgot really what they were talking about, because it was more like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? But me, it's like, I sit that kid down and I'm like, who did you need when you grew up? Right? Like, personally, I had great parents. I had a great family. What I needed was somebody who was fearless, right? Somebody who'd grab life by the balls and just not give a fuck about what people said, right? And no matter what came to his head, or like who confronted him or whatever, he would stick to his guns and he would follow like what he believed in. That's what I needed. And that's who I want to be for the person sitting in front of me, you know, man? And it's a weird realization, and it's one I've had for a while. And anytime I'm like beating myself up, I think of that. Because it's like, whether life is pulling you in one direction and you slowly see yourself start descending. Like, I know one of them that I see is like, anytime I'm like in a very depressed mood, I start seeing myself like eat more, and I like get bigger and bigger. And anytime I start seeing myself get bigger, that's when I hit the brakes. Now I'm like, hold on. Who are you right now? Take a breather. Sit the kid down and talk to him. Because he's not feeling good right now. What does he need? Because like, I feel like culturally, not like American culture, but just the world culture right now, everybody wants you to grow up and fall in line, right? Like, they want you to grow up and they want you to be the corporate helper, or they want you to be the person that, you know, shows to work on time, or, you know, they're gonna do their job and then they're gonna go home, they're not gonna talk about work. Or they're gonna go home, they're gonna pretend nothing matters because we're paying them, right? And I'm just using work as an excuse. You can use like school or whatever, but that's kind of just what my mind is coming up with. And yeah, I feel like they want you to fall in line because they don't want for you to be who you are. And I felt that the most, especially like when I went to schools that had me wear uniforms, or the jobs I've had in the past that make me wear like a t-shirt and like, you know, shorts, or if I had to wear like a button-up shirt with like slacks, like anything like that, I feel like it was constricting me almost. Not because like the clothes are bad, but just because like you kind of feel chained. The moment that you feel your personality is getting lost is when you start falling in line. And I've noticed that a lot, especially now that I'm like in my thoughts a lot more, just thinking, because you kind of see the world in another light as you get older. And I know I'm not that old, and God, I don't know how I've been so lucky with my life up till this point. And I know I have like regrets and struggles, but it's like I wouldn't change anything, because it's like, because of those, I have gotten to have this knowledge that not many people get to understand, and not many people will understand probably for their entire lives. And it's interesting because I am pretty young, but it's interesting because like you see other people your age and you find out that you don't relate to them, and it's not because you don't relate to them because, you know, you're different. You don't relate to them because you just don't think the same. That's why, at least what I've noticed, like a lot of my friends, a lot of my closest friends especially, probably ones I've had since I was like 5 or 6, I still talk to a good chunk of them. And what I've realized is like these people think to me, or not think to me, they think the same as I do. Although we have all our different opinions and we all freaking fight each other for God knows how long. We bust each other's balls, as they say. But when it comes to who we are and what we care about, sorry, my dog. But when it comes to like who we are and what we care about and like what we want to see in life and accomplish, it's like I wouldn't surround myself with any other people, right? And that's, to me, is where the real self-worth is. Because if you are fortunate enough to put, you know, enough time into yourself where you can make these connections that probably will last a lifetime, that is the most priceless thing I think you can have. I think, if anything, if I had all these video games, skateboards, movies, if I had to give it all up just to have all my friends together and we would see each other every day, I would give it up in a heartbeat. I would not hesitate to give any of this up. And personally, what motivates me, at least to work hard, is like, I'm gonna get to that point. And I'm gonna get to that point where I'm with all my friends and we get to hang out every single day. I want to work hard, that way we can just be together, because time is the most priceless currency. And I think I've said it before, but I'm just reiterating it because it relates into the self-worth topic a lot. Because to me, the way I'm spending my time is how I value my worth, at least. If I'm spending my time doing a job I hate, going to a home I hate, eating food I hate, it's like, I hate myself. But if I'm going to a job I love to every day, if I'm coming home to people I love, if I'm going and getting food, or if I'm making food that I love, that's the actual worth in my eyes. And I think that's why I like doing stuff and saying yes to things. Because it's like, you never know what the next step is going to do. If you're walking on a trail and it's got if you start on it and it's got a whole bunch of paths and you pick one, you don't know where you are except for the step you just taken. So it's like, I'm just gonna go where the wind takes me. If my foot says to stop right here and turn right, I'll turn right. You never know what you'll see. Might be good, might be bad. But at least you stopped and you won't have that wonder and curiosity in your head eating at you. Because personally, anytime I'm doing something and I have that piece of thought that's like, eating at you, that's where I'm like, why didn't I do that? That's where the real regret sets in. It's not because I didn't do anything. Well, I mean, it is. That's exactly what I'm saying. I chose the wrong word. But it's not I'm not going to regret what I did. I'm only going to regret what I didn't do. And, personally, I think if you are struggling with self-worth, I think that a best way to gauge it is to talk to yourself about it and be like, how am I spending my time? Right? Because, if your self-worth is low, you gotta take a stop and look around and see what's going on and what do you want to change about it. Because that's gonna be the real deciding factor about how things are gonna go. And the moment you find that rusty ass key and you open that door and you just see like your life open up and you see all the good that the world has to have, you're supposed to see the evil every day. Like, that's the moment you live for. That's where you're like, wow, my short time on this earth is so worth it. And I wouldn't want to have it any other way. But I mean, that's my little self-worth rant or lecture, which will be funny because I said I didn't like lecturing. But gauge however you want to have that talk. but I just felt like you needed it, buddy, because I know I did. So, if you enjoyed this video, share it, do all the YouTube stuff. I am gonna go make dinner, and we're having hot wings and homemade french fries. So it's gonna be a damn good dinner, and I'm gonna watch a damn good movie. Don't know what movie, I'm just gonna put one on. So, y'all have a good night, or a good day, depending on what time you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next one.